Are those staples?
Are those staples? What the hell?
You can remove staples without a staple remover.
Somewhat turbulent.
Taming a turbulent ocean.
Turbulent, vague, flustered.
It's tremendously exciting.
People are tremendously excited.
Tremendously nimble.
What would happen to full autonomy if you're not in charge?
Region executives with full autonomy.
We will need autonomy.
Autonomy.
Clothed in immense power.
A child of immense power.
Porsche, they offer an immensely complicated range of cars.
Seem agitated today.
Agitated? No. Yeah.
Well, you seem agitated.
You seem agitated.
Your allocation of revenue?
If Congress is going to allocate $250 million,
prepared to allocate $10 billion.
She-robot is our ally.
Was our ally.
Eurasia is our ally. Eurasia has always been our ally.
Need allies. Powerful allies.
Collaborative educational outreacher.
Smart, collaborative, pretty. Well, it's a collaborative.
Your unique metabolism.
And your metabolism.
You've got my metabolism.
You could shoot anteaters.
What that is? It's an anteater.
Buster, why don't you make yourself out as an anteater?
It's anonymous.
I'm anonymous. I think.
No,
They're anonymous.
we're not going to amputate your leg. Huh? Make sure we're ready to amputate the left leg.
They gotta amputate her arm.
Clamp that artery.
Your artery is shredding.
This could be the cystic artery, the hepatic artery.
We're not barbarians.
We're all descendants of barbarians in this.
You're all barbarian.
Dumbledore left you a second bequest.
They need to make some requests for tax reasons.
The twins have laid claim to their late cousin's bequest.
Who was besieged by 10,000 Romans?
To aid our mortal brethren, who are now besieged in the Southlands.
Where any besieging army would have come from.
What charming peasants.
You're a peasant.
What makes me
We are not peasants.
Being too thorough.
Very thorough.
You're very thorough.
How are they cohesive?
They stayed cohesive and they won.
They're not a cohesive unit.
Deviated septum.
It's a deviated septum.
Where did I deviate?
Down the corridor, flat 157.
We're in the corridor.
Your policy is void.
It's a boundless void. Just void.
And ordinary work, like ordinary men.
They're just two ordinary men.
You think you're just ordinary.
Meticulous researcher, Joe.
We keep a meticulous, exhaustive record.
You're a meticulous man.
Of an esoteric art film.
But he's esoteric, and we also have to think.
It's more than a collection of esoteric documents.
My nascent feelings for him will dry up.
It's a symbol of Cuba's nascent entrepreneurship.
There is a nascent separatist movement.
We advocate dismantling intelligence agencies.
Nobody is advocating for that.
You intend to advocate for yourself.
How dare you impugn my clicking?
What am I, impugning their manhood or something?
You are not only impugning my integrity.
Utterly merciless, utterly abandoned, Crephaeus.
It's hopeless, utterly hopeless.
Utterly merciless, utterly abandoned, Crephaeus.
Exorbitant salary, same for your
2.5 sounds exorbitant.
To avoid paying an exorbitant fee to an
Are they biased against you?
They have an incredibly biased agenda.
But you might be biased against the defendant. Cause the meltdown.
Mortgage meltdown continues.
We're having a meltdown here.
She's gone rabid.
They've gone rapid. Try around here.
For a rabid anti-dance!
mandatory assemblies and mandatory ditch.
It's mandatory?
You have a mandatory hip-hop dance class? Mandatory.
I mean, if Charles Manson needed a personal muralist, you'd be the guy.
Hiring Scranton's most dangerous young muralist.
They realized it was going to cost a ton of money to hire a mural.
You're suspended.
You're suspended.
You're suspending me.
They forged powerful
I forged your signature.
You forged them. You forged the forms.
It's a treatise on the aesthetic precondition.
I understand it was a precondition of his return. We tell them it's a precondition. If they share it, the deal is off.
She was a refugee here.
Congress passed the Refugee Act.
They're refugees, intellectuals, bohemians.
Josh, is that such a pervasive opinion that it warrants a duh?
He's got pervasive developmental disorder.
You know, it's like this pervasive entitlement.
I'm allergic to amphibians singing.
I'm an amphibian.
They're amphibians. Frogs are amphibians.
You sound a bit reluctant.
Tom was reluctant initially.
Where's my reluctant envoy?
A portrait of hopelessness.
A faithful self-portrait.
Painful portrait.
What portrait?
When we return to the ship, time factor.
The time factor.
Time factor.
What criteria?
Has to meet certain criteria.
You've got criteria.
You've evolved.
I'll show you evolved.
Evolved. And over the last...
You underestimate us, Theodora.
Underestimate them.
You underestimate us.
Don't try.
We mustn't underestimate American blunder.
No more blended drinks.
Differently blended, sir.
Vanilla blended.
It's not blanching.
You mean carte blanche? What does blanche mean? So no matter how benevolent they may seem,
I may not be feeling so benevolent.
You're never benevolent.
The air was balmy.
This would be a balmy day in Samara, Leland.
Warm days, balmy nights.
Is it true that you wouldn't sign a prenuptial agreement?
What? Prenuptial agreement?
There's no prenuptial agreement.
Endless. The information bottlenecks.
If we can lure them into the bottleneck, close the door behind them.
Now, what are the main causes for bottleneck?
For the entire country, it'd take weeks unless you eliminated the congestion.
I noticed when I first arrived that congestion.
We should open a single lane of traffic and ease congestion.
Before embarking on my next decade.
Embark upon our dark honeymoon.
We embark upon a search for justice.
That doesn't even rhyme. None of this rhymes. Songs have to rhyme.
Well, it rhymes with pre-industrial European deforestation.
We do hereby direct for you to be banished forever.
You're banished forever!
You're banished forever. Thank you.
To change the format of the event.
Over the years, the format changed.
We're changing formats.